Hey guys, welcome to the Boulder Community Hospital Deconstruction Project Orientation. We hope you find this presentation useful and insightful on how work will be conducted at the Boulder Community Hospital site. So again, welcome to the BCH work site. We'll go over roles and responsibilities for management, supervisors, and workers on site, have a discussion about the general site requirements, give you a description of the required personal protective equipment, go over some meetings that you'll be expected to attend and participate in. We're also going to review the safety procedures which are specific to this work site, as well as some site-specific incident reporting and management guidelines we'd like you to follow, and we'll follow up with some general hazard communication considerations. So when you're out here at the hospital, you'll be filling one of three primary roles. Management is considered anyone on site whose responsibility is to determine requirements and provide work planning. This includes safety director, project managers, estimators, and any other corporate representative from EDI. Supervisors are anyone who's responsible for directing work and administering the safety policies and the work plan. This also includes crew leaders, supervisors, superintendents, and again, anyone who's responsible for making decisions in directing the crew. Finally, the third role is our workers, who are responsible for actually executing the work and face the greatest hazards when on this work site as they're closest to the work. So management will be determining all the safety requirements and passing those on to the supervisors. Your supervisor's role is to train the employees in what is required for that safety program, as well as enforcing the safety policies anytime someone is not following rules correctly. Workers, simple job, follow the safety rules and identify any new hazards. Let us know if you see something that you believe is unsafe. Supervisors will also execute the work plan that they receive from management and determine and distribute the required equipment and materials you'll need to complete your work safely. Workers are also expected to complete their assigned tasks in a timely fashion and conduct yourself in a professional manner when speaking to other trades or other people within EDI. Finally, please use all equipment and material in a safe manner. This includes your hand and power tools, as well as any other material that's required to complete a task you've been assigned. So let's go over some general site requirements you need to be aware of as one of the project team members. First off, let's discuss the difference between deconstruction and demolition. Most of the work we'll be doing here is deconstruction, which means we want you to take care when removing certain materials. Your crew leaders and supervisors will make you aware of what is going to be considered a reuse item. These items we need to take special care to keep intact and undamaged, as the intent is to reuse them elsewhere. Next, let's discuss the electrical and water supply systems. Both of these systems are managed by other contractors on site. So it's really important that as an EDI employee, you understand that we are not to modify these systems. If for any reason you need additional outlets, an additional turtle, or the water supply system isn't reaching where you need access to it, please have a discussion with your crew leader or supervisor to make arrangements for the appropriate contractor to come make the changes you need. Next, the access hours for the Boulder Community Hospital are 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. There is a chance that these hours can be modified throughout the project, but as a general rule, keep in mind that if you leave anything here or for any reason have to return to the site, you will need to contact a supervisor to be let in, and they will also have to coordinate this with the prime contractors. So make it a point, don't forget anything. Finally, there's designated parking outside the old ER station, and it's important that you're not parking on Boulder roads. Make sure you're using the provided parking lot. Also, this is a non-smoking work site, so if you do happen to be a smoker, please make sure that you're aware of where the designated smoking areas are and only smoke in these areas. So let's go ahead and discuss the PPE or personal protective equipment requirements here at the Boulder Community Hospital. The required items, these are items that you must wear at all times when in any work area or any time on site other than designated break areas, include hard hat, safety glasses, a reflective vest, steel-toed boots, full-length pants, and minimum of 4-inch sleeves. We also ask that you not wear any jewelry on site or synthetic blend clothing. The second category is task-specific protective equipment. These are some of the categories that may require task-specific PPE, but keep in mind that it's up to you to determine and your supervisor to determine what you need depending on the task you're doing. So, for example, material handling. You may be asked to carry glass or sharp sheet metal, and you may be asked to wear cut-resistant sleeves at these times. Those of you that are engaged in hazardous materials work, such as lead and asbestos, are very familiar with the required respiratory protection and other requirements that are specific to that work. Same goes with hot work. There are certain shades we need whenever we're using a plasma arc cutter. There are special safety protocols when working with compressed gas. And you know, there's lots more that goes with that. So if you're asked to conduct hot work, make sure you have the required training and you'll know what PPE you need to wear for those tasks. Next is working at heights. Obviously, we've discussed wearing fall arrest systems and the requirements behind inspections. And there's a variety of other tasks that may require special PPE. So again, this category of task-specific PPE is protective equipment that you'll wear that's specific to the task that you are conducting at that time. There are 2 meetings out here at Boulder Community Hospital that you'll be required to attend and participate in. The first is the All Hands Toolbox Talk, which occurs Monday mornings. This is administered by the Amerisco site staff, and it has all contractors there. So this is our opportunity to, 1, share the hazards of the work we're doing and make sure other trades are protected, and 2, find out if any of their work affects us. Electricians are working on power, pipe fitters working with water. All of our tasks can affect each other, and it's important that we have this opportunity to communicate between trades. The second meeting is your daily job hazard analysis. Your crew leader or supervisor will walk you through this process, but it's pretty simple. Essentially, a job hazard analysis is 3 steps. First, you take a look at the work you're doing today. What are you actually going to be doing? Next, you look at that task and ask, what are the hazards? Is there a fall hazard, an electrocution hazard? What is it that could happen that could result in an injury? The final step is to determine the controls to protect us from these. So, what PPE are we wearing? Is there a different way we can do the work? Do we need additional wet methods? All those type of questions are the final step. So again, your job hazard analysis, what are you doing? What are the hazards? And what are we doing to protect ourselves from those hazards? These are daily. So again, those are the 2 site meetings you will be required to attend and participate in while working out here at Boulder Community Hospital. Let's have a quick review of some safety procedures that you need to follow while working on site. First off, anytime you're using a personal fall protection system, it's your responsibility to inspect your harness and lanyard completely. And if you find any defects, get with your crew leader or supervisor so we can get it replaced. When working with electricity, when possible, get the electricity turned off at the panel by discussing it with your supervisor and getting it locked out and tagged out. When that's not possible, make sure that everyone in the work area is aware that the electrical hazard exists. Next, you'll likely be working on and from ladders several times throughout this project. Primarily, we'll be working with A-frame and extension ladders. Use them as designed. Do not lean an A-frame ladder up against the wall. Always inspect your ladder before use for any damage, need for repairs, the appropriate markings. Make sure there's no oil on the steps, and while using a ladder, never use the top platform or top rung to stand on. For those of you assigned to dealing with hazardous materials such as lead and asbestos, you will be required to wear protective clothing, and respiratory protection. These must be inspected, and you must have your fit test as well as medical evaluation before donning your respirator, as well as the appropriate training for the task you've been assigned. When working on scaffold, we must make sure we have an assigned competent person, someone who's inspecting the scaffold every day and making sure it's safe to work on. These scaffolds will be equipped with tags with signatures indicating when they were inspected. Before using a scaffold system, check the tags and make sure that the scaffold has been inspected prior to use. Regarding your hand and power tools, inspections are also required. Hand tools with cracked handles or missing rubber or that are bent should be taken out of service and a new one should be brought in. Any power tools with exposed electrical parts or which are not functioning properly should be red tagged and returned to the warehouse. At times we will be using forklifts, man baskets, or delivery trucks to drop off and pick up deliveries. Anytime these vehicles are in use, an assigned spotter should be in place to ensure no one is struck by any moving equipment, and the people operating the equipment must have the appropriate certifications. Finally, your awareness is the biggest thing we ask for regarding safety procedures. It's not possible for us to see all the hazards you'll be exposed to, but you will see them as they happen. If at any time you see something that you believe puts people at risk of injury, please stop work, contact your crew leader or supervisor, and do what we need to correct the hazard. Okay, so let's review the incident reporting and management guidelines here at Boulder Community Hospital. The first category of incident are near misses and first aids. To clarify, a near miss is any occurrence which may have resulted in an incident but did not. For example, if a person were to fall off a ladder and not sustain any injuries, this would be recorded as a near miss. Anytime there's an incident that requires non-medical treatment, such as minor cuts and bruises, these are considered first aid, and we do still track them. So employees must report any near misses and first aids so that we can make corrections and make sure it doesn't turn into a minor or major incident. Any near misses and first aids will be recorded on the daily field report, and no further action will be taken. For minor incidents, which include any recordable incident that require medical attention, including prescriptions, stitches, hard braces, etc., employees must immediately report these to their supervisor, and the supervisor must then report that incident to management within 15 minutes of finding it out from the employee. After the report has been made, we will conduct an incident investigation and inspection to find some root causes and see what we can fix to prevent it happening again. A final incident report will be submitted to Amerisco within 24 hours. The final category is major incidents. This includes incidents that involve transportation to an ER facility, use of an ambulance, any loss of consciousness scenario, lost work days, or where more than one worker is injured due to the occurrence. Again, employees must report immediately, and the supervisor must report to management within 15 minutes. In certain circumstances, other agencies such as OSHA or the EPA may require notification as well. Similar to minor incidents, we'll conduct an incident inspection and investigation and submit a final report within 24 hours. For major incidents, we will also have an additional meeting to discuss any lessons learned from that occurrence. Regardless of the severity, all incidents that happen will be reviewed with the work crews the following day to make sure everyone's aware of the hazards and how they can affect us during the course of work. So regarding the hazard communication standard, there are three key pieces of information we want you to be aware of. The first is the main OSHA postings, including the Department of Labor postings for workers' rights, whistleblower defense, and all others, will be located and posted in the main lobby. You can go there for more information. The next topic is safety data sheets, which you're probably familiar with as having lists of what's in certain chemicals, what are the hazards, and how do we protect ourselves. So these safety data sheets are accessible to all supervisors via their smartphones. They have it loadable through internal company processes. So if you're using a chemical, make sure that you talk to your supervisor and get a printout of the SDS for the chemical you're responsible for using. Finally, let's discuss container labeling from two contexts. The first one is large containers, such as propane bottles or buckets of chemicals, must have their stickers, markings, and everything else on the original container as it was, and it must be legible. If there's an empty 5-gallon bucket of chemicals or it is handwritten, notify your supervisor immediately. We'll get it taken off site and we'll get you the appropriate container. Next is personal containers. So a spray bottle you may be using for a certain task, or if you just need a small amount of a chemical. If it's a one-time use container and you fill it, use it, rinse the container and empty it, these only need indications of what is in that actual spray bottle. If you are leaving your bottle any longer or multiple people are using it, it does require full markings of the chemical that is in that bottle. Well, everyone, thanks again for coming and being part of the team out here. We hope this was informational for you, but if you do have additional questions, all of us are available. Speak to any crew leader, supervisor, the safety rep on site. We're here to help you. And thanks again. We hope you have a safe and rewarding experience here at the Boulder Community Hospital.